Om. Om. Sahana bhavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Hari Om, Jai Gurudev. Yesterday we were looking at Bhagwan's Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti, one responsible for creation and another responsible for sustenance. I will just browse through the verse which we did yesterday with with its main heading. Kindly try to recall. Apareyamitastvanyam prakritim viddhi me param जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदं धार्यते jagat. O mighty armed Arjuna, this is my lower prakriti, whereas please understand the one other than this, my higher prakriti, my very nature, which is the essential nature of the individual by which this world is sustained. So what has been described so far is apara svabhava prakriti, which is responsible for the creation. But Bhagavan says my real nature is para prakriti. Para prakriti is the swarupa of Bhagavan. This prakriti is the swabhava, apara prakriti is swabhava, and para prakriti is the very Swarupa of Bhagavan, which is nothing but the Sat Chit Ananda Atma. And there Bhagavan, real nature is you. The is the mind, intellect, worship, memory, body, senses, sensory world, etc. The Atma that illumines all of them is called the Kshetranya. And that is the real meaning of the word Jiva, the one who is in every Kshetra. So Bhagavan says that in every body, mind, sense complex, Sarva Kshetresu, the one who remains there is Atma, the Kshetrajna. And this is not included in the apara prakriti. My real nature is prakriti, which sustains everything. Once again, the apara prakriti, only the elements, the ahankara, buddhi, and manas are included. Atma is omitted from apara prakriti. Para prakriti, which is the one by which this entire world is sustained. Yaya, by this para prakriti alone, idam jagata, this entire world, dharyate, is sustained. So the last paragraph I will read. Therefore, please understand that para prakriti, which is other than this, itaha anyam param prakritim viddhi. Although both must be understood, Krishna is going to say, this is the real prakriti. This is my real nature, the cause for everything. And therefore, it is called prakriti. It is this prakriti from which everything has come, which remains always the same, which is indeed the jiva, the atma. Therefore, understand that Prakriti to be para, utkrishta. Please remember this word, utkrishta. The other one is apara Prakriti, the five elements, etc. Having set up this up, he is now going to reveal that there is nothing other than this para Prakriti. If you want me to read or repeat any paragraph, please let me know. Otherwise, we will go to the new verse.
Bella, sorry,
Yeah.
I missed it yesterday. So
Yeah.
can you read the last paragraph? Therefore,
My real nature para Prakriti,
yeah, that's
or
fine.
from,
Therefore, under that, the last paragraph. You
okay.
just read it, the last one. Sorry.
Yeah. My real nature, para Prakriti, sustains everything. In apara Prakriti, only the elements, the ahankara, buddhi, and manas are included. Atma is omitted. That is para Prakriti, which is one by which this entire world is sustained. Yaya, by this para Prakriti alone, idam jagat, this entire world Dhariyati is sustained. Therefore, please understand that para Prakriti, which is other than this, itaha anyam param prakritim vid. Although both must be understood, Krishna is going to say, this is the real Prakriti. This is my real nature, the cause for everything. And therefore, it is called Prakriti. It is this Prakriti from which everything has come, which remains always the same, which is indeed the Jiva, the Atma. Therefore, understand that Prakriti to be Para, Utkrishta. The other one is Apara Prakriti, the five elements, etc. Having set this up, he is now going to reveal that there is nothing other than this para prakriti. So there are two types of prakriti, para and apara. Apara, as we had seen in Panchikarana.
Yeah, the five elements, that's what it
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
And then
But
the manas and buddhi and ahankara.
ahankara, yeah, ashta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, धन्यवाद. एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय पधारय एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि, all beings and elements. Etat yonini, or are those that have these, the two prakritis as their causes. Iti upadharaya. Thus, please understand, aham, I, kritsnasya, jagatah, of this entire world, prabhavah, and the Kshamyatam, Prabhavaha, am the cause. Tatha, so too, Pralayaha, I am the source into which everything resolves. Sarvani Bhutani etad yonini iti upadharaya aham kritsnasya jagatah prabhavaha tatha pralayaha. Please understand that all beings and elements have their cause in this twofold Prakriti. Therefore, I am the one from whom this entire world comes. So too, I am the one into whom everything resolves. I repeat, please understand that all beings and elements have their cause in this twofold Prakriti. Therefore, I am the one from whom this entire world comes. So too, I am the one into whom everything resolves. So beautiful. Everything has its being in this twofold Prakriti. Etad means this twofold Prakriti. It includes all beings beginning from Brahmaji right down to a worm. In other words, all living beings from A to Z and all non-living things also from the space to the earth. I repeat, Etad means this twofold Prakriti. It includes all beings beginning from Brahmaji right down to a worm. In other words, all living beings from A to Z and all non-living things also from the space to the earth. All of them are included. Nothing is left out. Everything known and unknown. Everything that may be there in the cosmos and whatever is there sustaining it, all the forces, all the laws, all the phenomena, then varieties of lower lokas like Atala, etc., and all the beings therein, and all the higher lokas with their celestial Yakshas, Gandharvas, etc., Devas, Indra, right up to Brahmaji. With that, everything is covered, all 14 lokas, 7 up and 7 below. All this together is called Brahmanda. That Brahmanda and everything that is there in it is Sarvani Bhutani. Etad, this is the twofold Prakriti. One is Atma, Sat Chit Ananda Atma, Kshetragna Swarupa Atma, the Paraprakriti of Ishvara. The other is the Maya Upadhi. And because of that, all the elements, etc., is the Apara Prakriti. Krishna says, please understand this. Upadharya, Upadharaya, Kshamyatam. I read the last 3-4 lines once again. Please pay attention. It is very, very important.
Can you please go back and read the whole thing? I know it is kind of from the beginning, the everything.
You mean from the sixth sloka?
No, not that one. That paragraph that we were reading. Yeah, from
Okay.
everything has its being. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Everything has its being in this twofold Prakriti. Etad means this twofold Prakriti. It includes all beings beginning from Brahmaji right down to a worm. In other words, all living beings from A to Z and all non-living things also from the space to the earth. All of them are included. Nothing is left out. Everything known and unknown, everything that may be there in the cosmos and whatever is there sustaining it, all the forces, all the laws, all the phenomena, then varieties of lower lokas like Atala, etc., and all beings therein, and all the higher lokas with their celestials, Yakshas, Gandharvas, etc., Devas, Indra, right up to Brahmaji. With that, everything is covered, all 14 lokas, 7 up and 7 below. All this together is called one Brahmanda. That Brahmanda and everything that is there in it is Sarvani Bhutani. Etad, this is the twofold Prakriti. One is Atma, Sat Chit Ananda Atma, Kshetragna Swarupa Atma, the Paraprakriti of Ishvara. And the other is the Maya Upadhi. And because of that, all the elements, etc., is the Apara Prakriti. Krishna says, please understand this. Upadharaya. So one is the substratum of everything, because of which the rest of them have the existence. So Sat Chit Ananda Atma, the Swarupa is the, you can say that Para Prakriti of Ishvara, and Apara Prakriti, which is consisted of the 5 elements and Mana Buddhi Ahankara. So Etat Yonini means those that have these, the 2 Prakritis as their causes. Yoni means cause. These 2 Prakritis are the cause for everything in this Jagat. Therefore, all the things in this Jagat are called Etat Yonini. There is a footnote. Etat Yonini Yesam Te Etat Yonini. Ete Yoni Yesham Te. Kshamyatam. Ete Yoni Yesham Te Etad Yoni. Yonini. So Etat Yoni means those that have these, the 2 Prakritis as their causes. Yoni means the cause. These 2 Prakritis are the cause for everything in this Jagat. Therefore, all the things in this Jagat are called Etat Yonini. Apara Prakriti, everything that is there. And Para Prakriti is the real cause. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That alone is the cause for everything. Please understand that Prakriti. It is Jiva Bhuta in the form of Jiva, Atma, Pratyagatma. That is the real Swarupa, the real cause for everything. All the Bhutani, space, air, mind, and so on, have their being only in this, in Paramatma, in this Param Atma. All beings have their basis only in the Sat Chit Atma. Therefore, Etat Yonini Sarvani Bhutani iti upadharaya. Please ascertain, come to understand that all the things in this Jagat have these 2 Prakritis as their cause. So, Swabhava and Swarupa, they are the cause for the whole entire Jagat. If you want me to repeat, kindly let me know. Otherwise, we move forward. I am the cause for the projection and resolution of creation. The Lord says, Aham Kritsnya Jagatah Prabhavah. I am the cause for the projection of this entire world, which this I, the one who has the twofold Prakriti, the one that is in the form of this entire Jagat, Apara Prakriti, and the other one, which is the real I, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, the Para Prakriti. And therefore, I am indeed the cause for the entire creation. Not only that, I am also the one into which this entire creation resolves. Pralayah tatha, tatha so too, Kritsnya jagatah pralayah. I am the source into which everything resolves. I am the one from whom everything comes. I am the one into whom everything goes back. Therefore, there is nothing other than myself. When the creation is there, it is me, because from me it has come. As I told you, this Apara Prakriti, which is the Parinami Upadana Karana, is also nothing but me alone. So beautiful. I will read the last paragraph once again. I am the cause for the projection and resolution of creation. The Lord says, Aham Kritsnya, Kshamyatam, Aham Kritsnasya Jagatah Prabhavah. I am the cause for the projection of this entire world, which this I, the one who has the twofold Prakriti, the one that is in the form of this entire Jagat, Apara Prakriti, and the other one which is the real I, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the Para Prakriti. And therefore, I am indeed the cause for the entire creation. Not only that, I am also the one into which this entire creation resolves. Pralayah tatha. Tatha, so too. Kritsnasya jagatah pralayah. I am the source into which everything resolves. I am the one from whom everything comes. I am the one into whom everything goes back. Therefore, there is nothing other than myself. When the creation is there, it is me, because from me it has come. As I told you, this apara prakriti, which is the parinami upadana karana, is also nothing but me alone. So clearly, Bhagwan has revealed the whole secret of the universe. It is so meditative. Anyone wants to share or wants me to repeat? Please tell. Bhagwan has already said that all the five elements, etc., are not other than myself, but as Satchit Atma, as the Kshetrajna. I have undergone no change whatsoever to become all this. So now, when he says here, I am the one who is the Jiva Kshetrajna, and I am the one from whom the entire world has come, and unto whom it returns. In effect, he is saying, like me, you are also the cause of this entire world. From the standpoint of Paramatma, you are the one who is Para Prakriti, the cause for everything. So Bhagwan is here giving the equation I is equal to you. I will just repeat once again. Bhagwan has already said that all the five elements, etc., are not other than myself, but as Sat Chit Atma, as the Kshetrajna, I have undergone no change whatsoever to become all this. So now, when he says here, I am the one who is the Jiva Kshetrajna, and I am the one from whom the entire world has come, and unto whom it returns. In effect, he is saying, like me, you are also the cause of this entire world. From the standpoint of Paramatma, you are the one who is Para Prakriti, the cause for everything. Then what is Ishvara? If you look at the Jagat as an individual, then naturally you have a physical body, mind, and senses. The world is there. For all this, you require a cause, which is what we call Maya Upadhi. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, with Maya in the form of this entire world, is Parameshwara. I repeat, then what is Ishvara? If you look at the Jagat as an individual, then naturally you have a physical body, mind, and senses. The world is there. For all this, you require a cause, which is what we call Maya Upadhi. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, with Maya in the form of this entire world, is Parameshwara. From the standpoint of Paraprakriti, all that is there is one, without which there is no Jagat at all. It alone gives satta, existence, to every aspect of the creation. And it also gives spurti, that by which you come to know each and everything. Satta, Sat, and Spurti, Chit, by which this entire Jagat is sustained, is Atma, that is Paraprakriti. I repeat because there are two very, very beautiful words, Satta and Spurti. From the standpoint of Paraprakriti, all that is there is one, without which there is no Jagat at all. It alone gives Satta, existence, to every aspect of the creation. And it also gives Spurti, that by which you come to know each and everything. Satta, Brahmaraji, kindly correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. Is it Satta or Satta? Satta. I think
It is Satta only. There's a double ta, na? Satta.
yeah. Satta is Sat and Spurti is Chit, by which this entire Jagat is sustained, is Atma, that is Paraprakriti. So beautiful. Definition of the cause, the maker, and the material. In the previous verse, Krishna said, I am the cause of the entire creation and also its point of dissolution. When the Lord says he is the cause, how does he mean this? As a conscious being, the Nimitta Karana, he is the cause in a threefold way. As the
I have
creator.
one question. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
before this Paraprakriti, you read about Parameshwara, right?
Yeah.
So that is the last sentence. It says Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. With Maya in the form of this entire world is Parameshwara.
Correct.
So everything together it is Parameshwara.
Right. Because it is
Can
the
we read
substratum. Yeah.
this? What is Ishvara?
Yeah.
Then
Okay. Then what is Ishvara? If you look at the Jagat as an individual, then naturally you have a physical body, mind, and senses. The world is there. For all this, you require a cause, which is what we call Maya Upadhi. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, with Maya in the form of this entire world, is Parameshwara.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
So everything
The,
is Paraprakriti, but along with Maya is called Parameshwara.
yeah. And
Maya is
Parameshwara is
Apara.
Maya Tita. We are Maya Adina. That is the main difference to realize. We are Maya Adina. We are independent. We are not independent. Compared to us, Bhagavan Parameshwara is Maya Tita. He is beyond Maya.
Yeah,
Maya is Shakti.
yeah, right. But here they specifically like they kind of combine both of it together, So
Yes.
Maya Ubadi and then they kind of added that to Ishvara. It's called Parameshwara.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I read the last paragraph also again. From the standpoint of Paraprakriti, all that is there is one, without which there is no Jagat at all. It alone gives Satta, existence, to every aspect of the creation. And it also gives Spurti, that by which you come to know each and everything. Satta, Sat, and Spurti, Chit, by which this entire Jagat is sustained, is Atma. That is Paraprakriti. Very beautiful word, this Satta and Spurti. Satta, Chitta. Very nice. I think Brahmaraji can explain us, can tell it in a simple way. They are very beautiful and they describe very subtle aspect of our Paraprakriti. I will read few paragraph and then I think we can have definition of the cause, the maker and the material. In the previous verse, Krishna said, I am the cause of this entire creation and also its point of dissolution. When the Lord says he is the cause, how does he mean this? As a conscious being, the nimitta karana, he is the cause in a threefold way. As the creator, as the one into whom everything dissolves, and as the one who sustains everything. Taittiriya Upanishad also says the cause is the one from whom yataha, all these beings come, by whom yena they are sustained, and into whom yat here it means yasmin, they resolve. There is a footnote. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayatnya samvishanti. So, according to Taittiriya Upanishad, I will read once again, also says the cause is the one from whom yataha, all these beings come, by whom yena, they are sustained, and into whom yata, here it means yasmin, they resolve. So it is that Hiranyagarbha, what Nanaji had said, into which we all. This is the definition of the cause. The word yatah represents the fifth case used in the sense of that from which something is born. This indicates the upadana karana, the material cause. Then he says, yena, by whom they are sustained. Then yasmin, unto whom they go back. Yat prayatnya bhi samavishanti. Yata prayatnya bhi samavishanti. Apart from this pronoun, yet, there is no mention of any other cause. From this, we understand that this karana, the cause, is both nimitta karana and upadana karana. Earlier in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, so kamyata, he desired. This clearly indicates the nimitta karana, the one referred to later by the pronoun yat, from which everything has come. Upadana karana is the same one who desired to become many and then created everything. Nimitta karana. From this, it is clear that according to the Shrishti, the cause for this world is Parmeshwara.
Shruti.
Oh, Kshamadam, Shruti. I read once again. Earlier in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, so Kamyata, he desired. This clearly indicates the Nimitta Karana, the one referred to later by the pronoun Yat, from which everything has come. Upadana Karana is the same one who desired to become many and then created everything. Nimitta Karana. From this, it is clear that according to the Shruti, the cause for this world is Parmeshwara, both in the sense of the maker and the material. Nature of the cause defined. When the Shastra analyzes the cause, it unfolds what we call the Swarupa, the nature of that very cause. For that, it has a different definition altogether. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You will find that none of these words, even though they are defining words, has a peculiar quality, has a particular quality. In fact, these words negate all qualities. Therefore, Brahman, the cause, is revealed as Nirvishesha, free from attributes, by words which negate all the attributes we know. Thus, the cause is presented as nirvikalpa, free from any form of duality. The definition is that it is Satya and it is Anantam Satyam. Therefore, it is not existent, as we usually understand. That is its existence. It is not in terms of time. Similarly, Jnana is not knowledge of any given thing. It is Anantam Jnanam, unlimited Jnana, is limitless consciousness. This definition, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, is Swarupa Lakshana. If you want me to repeat anything, please let me know. These are very important qualities which are described. I will read once again. I think Brahmaraj take on.
Yeah, no problem, Bela. Bela, which shloka is this? Because what the PDF I have doesn't show this 1021 page. What shloka are we in?
5, I think.
7.
No, number 7th chapter, 5.
The 5th shloka, is it?
5th sloka. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will share screen, Bela. Don't worry.
Yeah, 6th shloka, Brahmaraji. 6th
Yeah,
we
we
complete.
read
Yeah,
from
no
5th
problem.
to 6th.
Here, this is where we are, right? The 2 types of lakshanas.
She just finished the nature of the cause defined. Yeah.
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 Certain 2 lectures.
So Taittiriya Upanishad says, so kamayata, he desired. This clearly indicates the nimitta. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Brahmaraji. You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I'll just read from here. Actually, I will start from definition of the cause, the maker, and the material, and then we'll go down further. Okay. In the previous verse, Krishna said, I am the cause of the entire creation and also its point of dissolution. When the Lord says he is the cause, how does he mean this? As a conscious being, the nimitta karana, he is the cause in a threefold way. As the creator, as the one into whom everything dissolves, and as the one who sustains everything. Taittiriya Upanishad also says the cause is the one from whom yataha all these beings come, by whom yena they are sustained, and into whom yata, here it means yasmin, they resolve. This is the definition of the cause. The word yataha represents the 5th case here, used in the sense of that from which something is born. This indicates the upadana karana, the material cause. Then he says yena, by whom they are sustained. Then yasmin, unto whom they go back. Yat prayantyabhi shamvishanti. Apart from this pronoun yet, there is no mention of any other cause. From this we understand that this karana, the cause, is both nimitta karana and upadana karana. Earlier in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, so kamayata, he desired. This clearly indicates the nimitta karana, the one referred to later by the pronoun yet, from which everything has come. Upadana karana is the same one who desired to become many and then created everything. Nimitta karana. From this, it is clear that, according to, let me just read this Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante येन जातानि जीवन्ति यत् प्रयन्त्यभिशंविशन्ति. So this is the meaning of this is that the cause is the one from whom yataha all these beings come, by whom yena they are sustained, and into whom yat, here it means yasmin, they resolve. It's like all the three aspects of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They represent the creative impulse, the sustaining ability, as well as the dissolution, the dissolving ability. So from this, it is clear that according to the Shruti, the cause for this world is Parameshwara, both in the sense of the maker and the material. Nature of the cause defined. When the Shastra analyzes the cause, it unfolds what we call the Swarupa, the nature of that very cause. For that, it has a different definition altogether. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You'll find that none of these words, even though they are defining words, has a particular quality. In fact, these words negate all qualities. Therefore, Brahman, the cause, is revealed as Nirvishesha, free from attributes, by words which negate all the attributes we know. Thus, the cause is presented as Nirvikalpa, free from any form of duality. The definition is that it is Satya, and it is Anantam Satyam. Therefore, it is not existent as we usually understand. That is, its existence is not in terms of time. Similarly, jnana is not the knowledge of any given thing. It is anantam jnanam, unlimited jnana. That is limitless consciousness. This definition, satyam jnanam anantam brahma, is swarupa lakshana. So in fact, the other day when we were talking about Atma not having any attributes, I actually had a little bit of a doubt. I said, how come they are qualities, isn't it? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. But here, Swamiji has made it very clear that it is beyond time. When you say existence, it is absolute existence. So then you cannot actually qualify it further. In that sense, it is quality, free of any attribute. Similarly, Jnanam is Anantam Jnanam, is not knowledge of any limited object. Just that. It is not limited only to that. It is Anantam Jnanam. So this is the Swarupa Lakshana, which is the cause. The two types of Lakshanas, Swarupa Lakshana and Tathastha Lakshana. There are two types of Lakshanas, Swarupa Lakshana and
The
Tathastha
one quick
Lakshana.
question,
Yeah.
Dr. Ramana. But the Nimitta Karana and the Upadana Karana, you read, right? The
Correct.
Nimitta Karana, it said he wants to create something. Is that the Nimitta Karana?
Yes, that is the intelligent cause. For instance, if you take the example of a potter, pot and clay, the potter, the intelligent cause, is the Nimitta Karana. The material cause, that is the clay, is Upadana Karana.
Okay.
And
So
the
he
pot
wanted
is
to
the
create
creation.
many things that become Upadana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kamayata. He just desired.
Okay,
He is
got
there. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. He is that in that. He is
right.
He is the only
we
one.
talked about that one actually. Even that previously it said the Satta and Spruti, like that's a Sat and Chit, that also they say it's limitless. All that the existence, the God.
All the lokas, the
All
whole
the
Brahmand. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It
So
encompasses the
it's
whole thing.
actually described very well in the creation, how he created living beings, non-living, rules and regulations, all the laws and forces, everything,
Yeah.
Everything. That means nothing is left. Everything is created by him. So yeah, it's limitless. Is not an object. That, like in the last that paragraph you read was really nice. Limitless consciousness, limitless.
You want me to read that again?
Yeah, it'd be nice. Thank you.
Nature of the cause defined. When the Shastra analyzes the cause, it unfolds what we call the Swarupa, the nature of that very cause. For that, it has a different definition altogether. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You'll find that none of these words, even though they are defining words, has a particular quality. In fact, these words negate all qualities. Therefore, Brahman, the cause, is revealed as Nirvishesha, free from attributes, by words which negate all the attributes we know. Thus, the cause is presented as Nirvikalpa, free from any form of duality. There is no other to compare it, isn't it? Like we have, if you
That's
take pairs of
exactly.
opposites,
Yeah, exactly. There's only one.
that is the
such
only
thing.
one. It is non-dual. So what will you compare it with?
So there's only one. This Brahman exists. There's no other. There's no two Brahman existing.
Correct.
And the same way, the consciousness, what we talking about, the limitless consciousness, that knowledge is that one knowledge. That's not like any other knowledge other than this. So that's what this Sat and Chit together, and then the Anantam also is limitless.
But
Anyway,
the doubt might arise. The doubt might arise. If it is only one, why is it being described as Satyam, Jnanam, and Anandam or Anantam?
Okay.
That
So
might crop up. Let's park that doubt right now. I don't know how to resolve that, but
Anta means like end, right? I mean, there is no end to this. There
correct.
is
That is the
no
definition of the infinite,
Anantam.
of infinite.
Yeah, infinite.
But I think the pramana here, because it is only using this as in order to describe what it is. That you need words to describe, isn't it? Otherwise, how will you tell a person who still has not realized? You need to use some words, and therefore these words like satyam, jnanam, anantam, there are words indicative of that. They're not. So that's my understanding. But anyway, let's read further. Maybe we'll understand better.
So
Basically,
the way they are saying Anantam Satyam, Anantam Jnanam.
jnanam. Mm.
So Anantam means it's limitless, is it?
Yes. So,
Okay.
thus the cause is presented as nirvikalpa, free from any form of duality. The definition is that it is satya and it is anantam satyam. Therefore, it is not existent as we usually understand. That is it. That is, its existence is not in terms of time. It is beyond time. I mean, it is not limited by time. For our limited logical mind,
yeah, exactly. It's not limited by time or the space and object. That's
correct.
what the whole, those three things are. Yeah, you're right. Like the time, he exists. Like this is where the three avastas comes in example. Like he exists in the past, present, and future. Mean like wakeful, dream, and deep sleep, and apart from that, the awareness is there always. So that was the one.
Yeah.
one for that. And then the existence part is like we are limited by space, like say this town or only this end to that end, or our body even, like you're limited to this one, if I say Maragda means like I'm limited to this, or my house is limited. So everything is limited space, like so even the parts, like if you broke open all of these, then becomes all one consciousness. So that is like, yeah, you probably know better that he's, so this the space beyond time and space and that object, as I said, yeah, that's a Sarupa Lakshana. He mentioned not existent, therefore it's not existent. As we understand, existence is not in terms of time. Yeah, so he is there. So remember, before even the world formed, the Jagat is formed, he was there. And now it's there, even in Pralaya, even everything resolved into it, and he's still going to be there. He's
Right.
there. So that's where this not in terms of time. Okay. And the knowledge is in any given thing, not the knowledge of any given thing. Limitless consciousness.
Unlimited jnana.
No.
That is
So
limitless consciousness.
right. The consciousness meaning here, I think it's like it is the cause of for everything, right? I mean, every little thing has that consciousness.
Yeah.
So
There's
that's
a chit aspect.
right.
That chit anandam, right? So that chit aspect is that consciousness.
Consciousness, yes. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Swarupa Lakshana. Okay. All right.
This definition, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, is the Swarupa Lakshana. Then we have two types of Lakshanas, Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana reveals the essential nature of something. For example, if you describe water as H2O, this is Swarupa Lakshana. Water is nothing but these atoms. So if you describe water as H2O, you are explaining the Swarupa of water. Here, the definition of Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma reveals the nature of Brahman, the Vastu. It negates all attributes and then points out by implication that the Vastu is the existence of anything that is existent and is the content of any form of knowledge. Let me read this again. Here, the definition of Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma reveals the nature of Brahman, the Vastu. It negates all attributes and then points out by implication that the Vastu is the existence of anything that is existent and is the content of any form of knowledge. Basically, it means that is the only thing there. It's because of this that everything else is there. Tatastha Lakshana. Then, if for example, you want to indicate a certain house and do so by saying it is a house on which the crow is sitting, that is Tatastha Lakshana. The crow is not a part of the house, even though it helps you recognize the house. The next time you have to identify that house, you need not wait for the crow to come and sit on it. Once you recognize the house, the crow is not a part of the understanding of the house. That is called Tatastha Lakshana. Whenever creation is discussed in the Shastra, Brahman is presented as the cause from which everything has come, by which everything is sustained, and into which everything resolves. Therefore, everything is Brahman. This is Tatastha Lakshana. It is important to understand that Brahman itself has not undergone any change whatsoever to be this world, because the world is mithya. Anything you analyze reveals itself to be only a name and form which is reducible to another name and form which again has its being in something else. I will read this Tatastha Lakshana again. I think we've understood that example of the crow, and once you recognize the house, you don't need the crow to in order to recognize the house
Yeah.
again. Correct?
Yeah.
So here, in terms of creation, whenever creation is discussed in the Shastra, Brahman is presented as the cause from which everything has come, by which everything is sustained, and into which everything resolves. Therefore, everything is Brahman. That is Tatastha Lakshana. So, like the crow, here in this example where we use the crow,
Brahman
here
is.
the cause the one who sustains and the one into which everything resolves. That is the is indicative of what the Brahman is.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you realize who Brahman is, you don't need to go back and say, oh, he's the Shrishtikarta, he's the sustainer, he's the Laya Karta. No.
Right.
The crow aspect does
Like,
not come in there anymore.
mm. Yeah, Srishti Sthiti Laya that we read
Yeah,
that.
Shrishti Laya.
Yeah. They're all in, Brahman.
So
Okay.
Swarupa Lakshana is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, whereas Tatastha Lakshana is Shrishti Sthiti Laya. It is important to understand that Brahman itself has not undergone any change whatsoever to be this world, because the world is mithya. Anything you analyze reveals itself to be only a name and form which is reducible to another name and form which again has its being in something else.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if we take the pot, the pot is. Now, if you break the pot, clay is. So the name and form of the pot is reduced to clay now. Now, when you go further, clay is. But when you further subdivide clay and analyze what it is, molecules and atoms is, or molecules and atoms are. So this goes on and on. So it is only the change in the name and form, but that isness remains, that existence, that satya, it remains.
Yeah,
So therefore,
that's what isness is in everything, right?
correct.
That isness. So
Correct.
that is what the existence is.
That is the absolute existence. That is the Swarupa Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana is to say, oh, Brahman is the cause, is sustained, and it also dissolves.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't get that. Say that
No,
again.
no. Sthiti, Shrishti, Sthiti, Laya.
Right.
That is the Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman.
Brahman, yeah.
Actually, it does not undergo any change, no?
Right. Brahman doesn't undergo any change, right?
If we read further, that's the material causes. Actually, this is a repeat of what we did yesterday, but I think we'll.
You read this yesterday?
No. The same topics were covered even yesterday.
Covered in the other topic, okay.
I will read up until the next para and we'll see.
Satya
must be understood to understand mithya. A Buddhist will claim that if you continue analyzing like this, you will end up in non-existence. The conclusion will be that the world has its cause in the non-existent, and the discovery that I am that non-existent is nirvana. Nirvana means extinguishing everything. This is the Buddhistic approach. But we do not mean that. The nature here is that I am the only Satya, the only reality. Even though the Buddhistic analysis of mithya looks the same, it is not. Because Mithya is truly mithya only when Satya is appreciated. Otherwise, mithya becomes Satya, a reality. Mithya is defined as anything that has no independent existence, no basis of its own. So, by the very definition, there is no such thing as mithya without Satya. Even though one may say the world is mithya, he cannot appreciate it as such unless he appreciates Satya. When the clay is appreciated as the truth of the pot is appreciated as mithya. So, only in the wake of the appreciation of Satya does mithya become clear. Basically, here Swamiji is trying to give us the contrasting
knowledge.
the Buddhistic
Yeah.
approach versus the Vedic approach, the Upanishadic approach.
Yeah, actually the truth, this is the other word for the knowledge, right? So the truth exists in everything, right? Like in the pot, the clay is the truth.
The Buddhistic
Yeah.
approach is that you ultimately end
Mm.
up in shunya, that is nothing. There's non-existent.
There is not
There is
existent.
nothing. Yeah. So once you come to that non-existent part, then you attain nirvana. But whereas the Shruti says, it is only when you know Satya can you understand what Mithya is. Because Mithya does not have an existence of its own. It requires Satya to appear
Yeah,
as Mithya.
which is true, right? Like
Mm.
everything, otherwise, without that consciousness, the truth, then we are not going to be functioning. None of it's going to be doing anything.
Yeah.
So we get to, when you appreciate that, like you said, like Satya, then we understand what Mithya is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So shall we stop here and do Manana before uh, we'll take these two types of material cause. This again is quite a lot. I don't want to get into our Manana now. We'll do this tomorrow. Hmm? This will take at least another 5 minutes. Then we'll be left only with 5 minutes for Manana. I think we'll stop here. We'll do this two types of material causes from tomorrow. So I will just run through the shloka that was covered today. एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा. Please understand that all beings and elements have their cause in this twofold Prakriti. Therefore, I am the one from whom this entire world comes. So too, I am the one into whom everything resolves.
So this
So
Krishna, they didn't have separate meaning in this one, right?
Krishnasya
It's
is of this entire world. Krishnasya Jagataha.
Jagataga. Okay. Some places Jagataga says the world, but then there's some places it says the universe, so whole Jagat meaning.
Yeah. This is not Krishna, it is Kritnasya. So
Yeah, that's why I say, I know it's
Kritnasya,
not Krishna. Mm-hmm.
yeah. It is of this entire, it means entirety. Jagataha is the world, the entire world. That is where
Okay.
he explains all the 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below,
Below.
living things, non-living things, the whole thing, everything. Everything has its being in this twofold Prakriti. From A to Z, living, non-living. And then I'm the cause for the projection and resolution of creation. Definition of the cause, the maker and the material. And then we have nature of the cause defined, the two types of lakshanas. So let's just close our eyes and then reflect on what we have learned so far, and let's do some manana. Jai Gurudev. Yeah, I think we can all share our takeaways from today.
So here, Bhagavan says, if all the beings are created, or not all beings, is it all beings? Yeah, Sarva
Yeah, Sarva
Upada.
Yonishu. 1 second.
Yeah, with the two.
Etad Yonini Bhutani
Bhutani,
Sarvani Tyupadharaya.
yeah, they are brought by the two prakritis of Bhagavan. So, and then he, that he's the one where it originates and then sustained and then resolved in the same Brahman. So that's the meaning of the right Aham Kritnasya Jagataga Prabhavaha is the where it originates, and then the Pralayas Stata is so too. Okay. Yeah, resolving where it originates and it resolves also. Which one is the sustaining part here? We didn't say that one.
That is
Anyway,
understood, I think. See, when
understood.
you're
Basically,
the cause and also you're the into which everything resolves, then
resolves.
sustaining must be happening inside in you, isn't
Yeah,
it? It cannot be another reason, another cause for that. So that
yeah,
sthiti is kind of understood there.
yeah. And then the Ethan Yonini is that Prakriti, the two Prakritis we talked about is Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. And Para Prakriti is what did he say about that?
Is the ultimate cause, is the Swarupa.
Yeah,
It's called
Surupa Lakshana, and yeah, sorry. Para Prakriti is synonymous with the Surupa Lakshana, like he is
correct.
the cause for everything. And then the material cause is the Maya. So Upadana Karana, right?
Right.
So yeah, when we did that Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana.
Mm.
So then it creates this Maya where this 5 elements and Manas, Buddhi and Hankara is being formed.
Yeah,
So
this eightfold. The previous
eightfold
book has
Astanga,
talked of the
yeah,
Ashta. Yeah,
Astanga, yeah, things. So with that this whole creation with the Paraprakriti along with this Maya, so it's called Parameshwara. So that next one we talked about what is Ishvara. Ishvara is this Paraprakriti, and then this Maya Upadhi is added, and that's called Parameshwara along with that. So we read Sarvani Upadaraya. Upadaraya means known, right? Thus you understand it. So that's
yeah.
what Iti Upadaraya. Okay. I'm trying to see this. So we
More
talked about,
than, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead,
Prakriti,
go ahead.
Prakritis, and then we talked about the Lakshanas, Swarupa Lakshana and the Tataksha Lakshana, two types of Lakshana, right? The Swarupa Lakshana is where mm, no attributes. So the Swarupa Lakshana is he's limitless, like it's described as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So he's Anantam, Satyam, Anantam, Brahma, Anantam,
Jnanam.
Jnanam. So if that's um, called the
Swarupa Lakshana or
Swarupa
the Paraprakriti.
right.
They're all
Para-
synonymous. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Nirvikalpa, like Nirvikalpa, the other meaning is that we read in the Atma Bodh was no thought, right? No thought or something like that. But here it's free from its duality or
Free from
non-duality.
duality. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Nirvishesha is another meaning here.
Right.
We read this one. So it's no attributes for the Swarupa. Tatastha Lakshana is that pretty much, indicative of Maya. That's more relating to Maya. And it also coming from this Swarupa Lakshana. Is that right? I mean, I know
Right.
I remember the crow part of it, the crow sitting there. So, but then the Tatak Lakshana, where this thing is, all the beings are being born
Born.
and then sustained and resolved in the same um, same Brahman. So that Brahman is not changed. That is the Tatastha Lakshana.
Tatastha Lakshana. It's
Lakshana.
like, yeah, go ahead, Dr. Savita.
Tathas Lakshana means that the Atma is the substratum. So it's more related to the substratum, which is the Atma, and other attributes uh, the example given that the crow was sitting on the house. So the substratum is the house, and the thing explaining that house was that the crow was sitting on that house. So here we will see the Atma would be the substratum, and the other attributes, they are just like crow. This is what I figured out.
But the Atma won't have any attribute, so
No,
that
like it's the substratum. It's like a clay which.
Like, for instance, if you consider Atma as the ocean, if you take the ocean and the wave example, the wave is caused, it rises, it sustains for a while, and it dissolves back into the ocean. So when you're describing the wave and say the ocean is the cause of the wave, sustains it and brings it back, that is in that way you're using the wave as the crow. For instance, here the crow and the wave will be the same. You're describing the nature of Atma through the wave, so to say. So you're indicating the ocean, the nature of the ocean, as the cause, the sustainer, and the dissolution of the wave. That becomes the Tatastha Lakshana. Whereas if you're describing the wave, the ocean, bereft of the wave, that is the Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It is absolute fullness. It is, absolute existence, absolute knowledge. That comes the Swarupa Lakshana.
yes. So the basically what you said was like, when we read, like we don't have to saying all the time, the Siddhi Laya, Shrishti Sthiti Laya that happening, all that to describe it.
Like
So,
he mentioned in the example, he says, once you know the house, you
no,
don't need the crow anymore. So once
yeah,
you realize what the absolute nature of Brahman is, once you've realized it, then you
yeah,
don't require to go on thinking, oh, he's the cause, he's the sustainer, he dissolves it. No, all those aspects become meaningless because you are that.
right,
You are that non-dual one. So there is no
right.
other there. You
So
merge
when
Lakshana.
we're reading about who is Brahma, like what what is it? Who are you or what? Who am I? Like that. When we do it, when we say I am Brahman, it's not just Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You have to be completely understood. What really it means. So there's so much about it, right? But as we are reading this, so
Very true.
this reason he's saying, Bhagavan Krishna is saying, for you to understand it clearly, who am I? That
Correct.
knowledge.
Very true.
Yeah.
So in case of ocean, the water is the substratum.
Yeah,
It's like, right?
right.
Okay.
Water is the substratum. Ocean or the water, if they
Yeah,
can be
ocean and water.
considered synonymous. The
Yes,
wave is like the crow.
like the
You're
crow. Yeah.
using the wave to describe the ocean. The wave, the
Yes.
cause of the wave is
Yeah.
sustained, and
The
right.
waves are describing the outer aspect of the ocean.
Mm,
How the ocean is, we see ocean in form of waves.
correct.
So waves are describing the ocean.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
So for a beginner of Vedanta, this Tatastha Lakshana is very important. You cannot directly take him, tell him you there, that is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. He gets all confused. So you require, like how Gurudev says, you point out to that tree if you want to show the star beyond. You don't just say, point out to the sky and say, that is the star. So you look at that tree, that branch, focus there, and then go beyond that. So that tree and the branch are important for a beginner. Otherwise, you just tell them that is the star, he might just get lost. So, as an indicator, more or less like a G, not a GPS, that will not be a GPS. It's an indicator, it is a pointer to the truth.
So it's just that pointing towards all the creation is happened by, it started created by Brahman. That
Yeah,
from that you go, and then not only he didn't stop with the creation, he's sustaining it, and then
yeah.
resolving it. Everything is happening.
See,
And
it is like the
so
prakriya. No, see, we've done, I think 2 days back, we did different kinds of prakriyas.
right,
Avastatre prakriya, the different means of knowledge. So, one is the Panchakosha prakriya, then the Avastatre prakriya, then the
right,
Shrishti Sthiti Laya. This is also a prakriya. So, these
right.
are all like indicators, that is the Lakshana of the Absolute. So, we will begin our, where is that? Shloka 19. Is anyone ready with 19?
So there yesterday or today also I was able to prepare it because I'm kind of a little bit
Yeah.
doing other volunteer work and stuff.
In
Today I
fact,
did
this is so in sync with what we've done in chapter 7 now, today.
that. Yeah.
Yatha Deepo Nivatasto Nengate Sopama Smrita Yogino Yata Chittasya Yunjato Yogamatmanaha. So he's actually giving a simile here. It's an upama. I'll read the Pratipatata. Yatha, just as, Nivatastaha, protected from the wind, Deepaha, lamp. Na ingate, does not flicker. Atmanaha yogam, contemplation of the self. Yunjata, yunjataha, of one who practices. Yoginaha, of the meditator. Yatachittasya, for the composed mind. Sa, this. Upama, illustration. Smrita is cited. So yatha nivatastah deepah na ingate atmanah yogam yunjatah yoginah yatachittasya sa upama smrita. Just as the lamp protected from the wind does not flicker, for the composed mind of the meditator who practices contemplation of the self, this illustration is cited. So basically, what Swamiji is mentioning here and what Bhagwan Krishna wants to indicate here is to, again, a beginner of Vedanta, to give an example. See, unless you give an example, you cannot directly take him to that state. So, in order to indicate what that state of the person who has realized Atman is, such a composed mind that does not waver, the simile of a lamp which is protected by the wind is mentioned. So when you have a lamp which is lit and it does not flicker because it has got that protection, you protect it from the wind and the breeze around, it remains steady. Deep within, if you look at, it might flicker a little bit. It does have, because without that, the lamp will not be a lamp. It only means that the mind of a realized person, he does continue to have thoughts, but then these thoughts, these vrittis, do not fluster him, do not agitate him. Just like how the flame continues to be free from any flicker. He will not get disturbed or agitated. The example given by Swamiji here was the example of a water buffalo. He says, for a person who does not know what a water buffalo is, you can't say that is a water buffalo or this is a water buffalo. You know, he has not seen the water buffalo yet. So, in order for him to get an idea of what a water buffalo is, you will give description. You will say it is like a big cow. You'll start with some example of what he already knows. He already knows a cow, for instance. So you say it's like a big cow. Then he will understand. And then when he actually sees the water buffalo, he will relate to that. So it only helps and aids in our deeper understanding. So this verse particularly is for a deeper understanding of the state in which this person, this yogi, the yoginaha, the meditator who has reached that state, who is already established in the Atman, what kind of a state is his mind going to be? It is going to be like that. Deep yatha deepo nivatastaha, like the flame which is protected from the wind. It's still, it continues to. So that is the gist of this. If anybody else wants to add, Dr. Savita, if you want to add something here.
Okay,
sorry.
you go on. No, you go on, Persiji, please.
When I read through this yesterday, I was contemplating that just like as the glass shield protects the lamp from flickering, similarly, our mind, in order for it to be contemplative, we need to be in acceptance. Like whether it is, this was my thought process yesterday, whether it is ahimsa versus hinsa, whether it is communism, whether it is Buddhism, where they talk about the zero, sunyata, all, everything, once you are in acceptance of that, okay, these are also different schools of thoughts, then the mind does not get agitated. And then from there, meditating on the self becomes much easier when you are able to encompass all this into your acceptance. I don't mean it as passive acceptance, but from the level of the mind not getting agitated. Okay, this is true and this is right, this is wrong, inside wrong, inside right. From that point of view, I was just contemplating in all this, that even if you look at it, at all the things that are happening in the world, when we talk about creation, sustenance, and delusion, dissolving. So that dissolving has to take place for something new to be created. So sitting in judgment over, say, the Russia-Ukraine war, okay, this one is right and this one is wrong. All that, if the mind does not get agitated over, there is nothing right or wrong. Nature has its own way of resolving issues. Then you can be without any agitation in the mind. You are protected. You have a contemplative mind. And from there, meditating on the self becomes much simpler and easier. I somehow yesterday, I had a very small Gita. I'm just in the process of filing everything properly with one of my volunteers based in Pune. So I've not been able to take out from Dayanand Saraswatiji's summary and read from it yet. But it'll happen within a few days. I'll get it all properly done now.
Very
So
good.
then I'll be able to read properly. But this was my thought process. I just contemplated over it in my own way and how I could use this paragraph, this verse to my advantage. Jai
This is
Gurudev.
very true. The lamp shade that protects the flame is all the practices that we do, and this includes what you've also mentioned of acceptance. Unless you're that antakarna is shuddh, where you're bereft of raga, dvesha, and all of that, that is when your mind also comes to a certain stillness. So, with constant practice, that is. So, you need antakarna shuddhi as well as antakarna naischalya, which we spoke of in the beginning of the 6th chapter as the antaranga, bahiranga sadhana and antaranga sadhana. So, combination of these two will enable that protection of the flame, and then you get established. So, very beautifully pointed out. Dr. Savita, you wanted to mention something?
Just this thing only, what Percy ji was saying, that the main aim of this shloka was to describe or tell that the one should have that contemplative mind, only like how Percy ji was contemplating on that part and analyzing. So this attribute, it is very important. Like you should have this type of mind, contemplative mind. Only then will your mind reside with the Atma. So the main how the flame, though flame is burning, but and it's continuous, those pulses, they come when you see minutely, those pulses coming in the flame. From very far you see the just flame burning, but when you see deep, just near the wick, you see that the pulses of the light, they are going on. So this, I was just imagining like how our own thoughts, they come one by one, but only by the quality of contemplation. If we have that mind, then we can overcome those, and we can, and this way the mind will reside in the Atma. This is the same what Percy ji was describing, how he contemplated and he was analyzing these things. Jai Gurudev.
Very beautiful. Also, when you're doing japa, you may be doing japa, but then the mind has its own track, parallel track that's going on. So
But
if
you go, like your mind wanders, even in meditation also your mind goes, then again you have to bring it back.
Bring it back, yoking it back.
Yeah. This way you are contemplating again and again, and that frequency with which initially it was going, that frequency will lessen slowly. Yeah. And you will not be like, it would be easier every time, it would be more easier and easier. because the unwanted thoughts will not disturb you more. Like Guruji say that let the thoughts come, let them pass
Right.
away. This
Right.
is yeah, no, that is through the contemplation only you see that these thoughts are not they are not they are unwanted, they have no meaning for me, so you leave that thought and you
Right.
again come back to yourself. So
Right.
the type of contemplation is really very important, and it helps if you make it a practice slowly. Though other things also like antakarna, shuddhi, discipline, all these are, they are all cumulative
They're all the
efforts.
preparations in order for
Yeah,
this
we
to
have,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I had like to add here only one thing, that meditation will become profoundly deep if we are not averse to anything, if we are not sitting in judgment over people, objects, situations. That aversion is not there for anything. Some people may be averse to American president, the other may be averse to the Russian president. So instead of being averse to anything, if you are in acceptance of things just the way they are, then the thoughts themselves will die down. They will not come up in meditation. To me, like it is like at the fag end of my sadhana, when I'm diving deep into meditation, I don't have to dive deep. It just happens on its own. So, the number of thoughts, everything decreases when you stop sitting in judgment. When there is no aversion left towards any, you don't take sides. Don't take sides.
You have
Just
that
be in acceptance.
samatva feeling you have, na? You have that all is one and God resides in everyone. You have that thought, well, you engrain yours in self.
Even like everybody is
The
same,
samatva.
like, yeah, samatva.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. And which is why Abhyasa is important, which is why sixth chapter is such an important chapter for us, where Krishna just says it in a few verses what is to be done. So Abhyasa is such an important aspect.
We got stuck on that verse 17 and 16 and 17 for nearly 3 days. We were discussing that. It was all about discipline, moderation, and all that. I mean, just bring it into our daily life. Is I was sharing it in the long kriya yesterday also, these 2 paragraphs. And I was saying that we did Manana on it for 3 days. How you really require the discipline in life, whether it is with regard to food, sleep, everything like.
Right.
So that moderation is so important. So same with our thought process, like why, if you really look deep down, is the American president right? They've also gone and bombed so many places, and then Saddam Hussein had no nuclear weapons. So, but I don't want to talk ill of anybody or anything like that. But there is no right or wrong. These things just happen. Nature has its own way of leveling out everything. So calling Putin a villain for bombing Ukraine, but America has not done less like. But we don't need to sit in judgment over anybody, neither Russia nor America. Just accept it the way it is. Not that it's passive acceptance. We go out, reach out to people, and whatever work we want to do, medical aid, giving food stuff, reaching out and to people who are dishoused, whatever way we are doing, our volunteers are doing that. And that's the way to go about it. Not to sit in judgment, just keep doing your seva.
Yeah. Therefore, that beautiful aspect of inner leisure. Those two words actually struck me quite strongly when we did with, I think, verse 16 or 17. It was 16, I think, where when you do everything in moderation, yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshta swabodhasya yogi bhavati dukkha. That one, he says, when you're doing everything in moderation, you are left with that inner leisure. Just imagine if you're able to have that inner leisure within yourself. You are so yoked. You have that yunjan. You are yoked to the self. So I think on that note, we'll wind up here today. And anyone is welcome to do the verse number 20?
We will all
Tomorrow.
prepare.
We'll all read it, exactly. You know, as I mean, if all those who can do that and have the time, as we finish the Manana, you can actually go through the verse 20 and then do your own little notes, mental notes or physical notes, whatever. And it will only deepen our understanding. All this exercise is so that each of us improves and evolves and matures more and more and gets that clarity of understanding. When everything becomes clear, all the doubts are removed, then contemplation happens effortlessly. When you sit at the seat of meditation, then you're able to contemplate. That nididhyasana will happen. Otherwise, if we have all these doubts coming up, then there is no clarity inside. So for that, everybody, it's good for
I have
everyone to do
to
this exercise.
miss the class tomorrow. I have one yoga class right at the same time. It's also through the Zoom link, so I will follow you with you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Let's wind up here. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
It's so good when you say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now I can realize, relate to what we read.
Right.
Relief from all
Very
the
good.
sufferings. Thank you so much. See you
Take care.
Monday.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.